Alright guys, so this is a how-to on the electrical in Everest. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the inverter. So the inverter powers any of the wall plugs, and what I mean is your standard 3-prong home plugs, like if you want to run a hair dryer or you want to charge your laptop or something like that. So any of those outlets in the van, if you want to power those, you just press this round button and that is going to send power to all of those outlets. It's going to take it, I don't know, 20 seconds or so for the screen to get all the readings and all that good stuff, but it's kicking on. If you're plugged up to a campground, you don't have to turn this on. It will automatically pass power through from the campground to your outlets, and it also trickle charges the batteries. So your batteries are being charged while you drive, they're being charged via solar on the roof, and they're being charged while you plug up to a campground. If you're going to plug up to a campground, if you're going to use something that takes a lot of power, like the microwave, the air conditioner, something like that, I would recommend being plugged up to a campground. You can run the microwave for 30 seconds, a minute or two. It's not a big deal. But if you're going to prolong use things that take a lot of power, then I would make sure you're plugged up to a campground. Your battery monitor right above your inverter is going to give you information about your batteries, just kind of the state of charge, how much power you're using, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into a huge detail with this, but if you press the plus or the minus, you'll eventually get to a percentage screen. This percentage is how charged your batteries are. I would recommend doing your best to keep them above 20%. They're lithium batteries, so they can go all the way down to 0%, but you should be able to keep them above 20% most of the time. If they get really, really low, this will actually flash and beep at you. So if you see this flashing and beeping, then that means you either need to plug up the van, crank the van, or pull in some sun where you can get some solar, and you can press a button and it'll shut up, or it'll shut up once the batteries get charged enough. So moving over to your switches over here, you've got your water pump light, water pump gauge, water gauge light. This needle will show the proper reading, whether this is on or not. This just helps you see it at night. The second one is your water pump. This is how you use your outdoor shower or your sink if you need any water to anything. Your second one is your cabinet lights, your overhead cabinet lights. And then your third one, that's your third one. And then your fourth one are your puck lights. So these are these overhead puck lights. If you press and hold, these will dim down, and then you can press and hold and they'll dim back up. And the cool thing is when you press the button, if you turn them off and turn them back on, they'll come back to whatever brightness they were at before, so they don't go back to full brightness every time. Moving on from there electrically, the only other thing you need to know is that when you turn on the inverter, it sends power to these switches down here. These switches are how you actually get power to the device. So this is like a 120 volt wall outlet, and they're labeled so that you don't have to see the labels right now, but the top one says outlets. That turns on the outlets. This one says microwave. You just heard the microwave beep, that now the microwave has power. The third one is our water heater. Your water heater is going to take about 30 minutes to warm up. So if you want to use the water heater, make sure you turn it on 30 minutes before you're planning on using it. And the fourth one, I don't think does anything. It's just a blank that we didn't use.